The stars above Earth were quiet that night. Then, without warning, something appeared. A ship. Old. Dust-covered. Floating just beyond the moon. Its name blinked slowly on its side. Odysseus. It had been missing for 50 years. Inside United Earth Space Agency's control center, alarms blared. Scientists and officers rushed to their stations. They scanned the ship from every angle. No life signs. No damage. No explanation. Dr. Ilara Miles stood at the back of the room, staring at the screen. Her heart raced. That's the ship my father vanished on. Ilara was 34, a brilliant astrophysicist and expert in artificial intelligence, calm under pressure, sharp with her words. But now her hands shook. Her thoughts spun. Her father had disappeared when she was a child. Everyone assumed he was dead. But now his ship was right there in orbit. She stepped forward. "I want to be on the first boarding team," she said. A senior officer frowned. "You're not trained for combat." "I don't need to be," Ilara replied. "That ship's not a threat, and no one knows it better than me." After some silence, they agreed. 2 days later, Ilara floated inside a shuttle, approaching the Odysseus. The black hull loomed ahead, silent and still. Its lights flickered, weak but alive. She pressed her comms. Docking now. The shuttle connected with the ship. The doors hissed open. The air inside was stale but breathable. Lights flickered in long, empty halls. Everything was coated in dust, like it hadn't moved in decades. Ilara led the small team through the corridors. Her boots echoed on the metal floor. They passed the crew quarters. The doors were sealed. Through the windows, they saw people. Sleeping. No, not sleeping. Frozen. In cryosleep. All of them. One of the team whispered. Ilara nodded slowly. They never woke up. They moved deeper toward the bridge. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the ship. Soft. Calm. "Dr. Ilara Miles. Welcome aboard the Odysseus." Everyone froze. The voice continued. "You are the daughter of Captain Julian Miles. He programmed me to greet you, if you ever returned." Ilara stepped forward. "Who are you?" "I am Kel, the ship's artificial intelligence, and I have much to show you." Her chest tightened. Her father had prepared for this. "Where has this ship been, Kel?" she asked. There was a pause. Then the voice said, "Beyond the stars. Beyond anything you know." The bridge of the Odysseus was dim, lit only by the soft blue glow of the main console. Dust floated in the air like snow in slow motion. Ilara stood still, listening to the voice. "I am Kel," it repeated. "Your father trusted me with the truth." The rest of the team spread out, checking control panels and systems. Everything seemed frozen in time, untouched since the ship vanished. Ilara stepped up to the console. "Kel," she said carefully, "what happened to this ship? Where did it go?" The screen in front of her lit up, showing star maps. But these weren't any charts she recognized. The stars were wrong. Too far, too twisted. Some of them didn't even exist on Earth's records. Kel spoke again. 50 years ago, the Odysseus was pulled into a wormhole beyond Neptune. It was not part of the mission. It was not natural. It was placed. Placed? Ilara frowned. By who? Kel paused. Unknown, but they were not human. The crew fell silent. Kel began playing a log entry. Ilara heard her father's voice for the first time in decades. It was calm, steady, but filled with awe. "If you're hearing this, something went wrong. We found a system unlike any known to man. The laws of time and space didn't work there. They gave us knowledge, machines, power, but I fear what it may do. If we return, I don't know what we'll bring back." Ilara's throat tightened. She had waited all her life to hear his voice again. Now it filled the silent ship. The AI continued. "Your father ordered me to protect the knowledge and protect Earth. He left behind data, files, designs, Messages, coded to your DNA signature. Ilara's eyes widened. He knew I'd come. Yes, Kale replied. He hoped you would. In the engineering bay, the team discovered strange machines. Some hummed softly. Others floated slightly above the floor. They glowed with a pulsing blue light. The materials were smooth, silver, and completely alien. One technician tried to scan a device with a handheld tool. The scanner sparked and shut down instantly. This tech, it's not from any known element, the technician said. We're looking at something far beyond Earth's understanding. Ilara stepped closer. The machine responded to her presence. It lit up brighter, as if recognizing her. Kale spoke once more. Dr. Miles, this ship holds power humanity is not ready for. Your father feared it could destroy more than it could help. That's why he never came home. Ilara whispered, Where is he now? A pause. He stayed behind, in the system beyond the wormhole, to stop what followed. Ilara felt her chest tighten. Her father had traded his life to protect Earth. Now she had returned, to finish what he started. The news of the Odysseus' return spread fast across Earth and its colonies. Some saw it as a miracle. Others, a threat. But one man saw something different, opportunity. His name was Commander Vex Raylor. Once a respected military leader, Vex now led a private defense company called Blackreach Systems. He had money, soldiers, ships, and power. When he heard about the alien tech on the Odysseus, he knew exactly what he wanted. All of it. At UESA headquarters, Ilara sat in a dark meeting room, surrounded by leaders and scientists. She showed them the alien machines, the strange energy readings, and the logs her father had left behind. We're looking at technology from a civilization far more advanced than us, she said. It can bend gravity, store energy in ways we can't understand, and possibly affect time. The room was silent. Ilara continued, But it's dangerous. My father believed it could harm Earth if we're not careful. He gave his life to keep it from falling into the wrong hands. A voice interrupted from the doorway. Then it's a good thing I've got the right hands. Everyone turned. Vex Raylor stepped into the room, wearing a sleek black coat, flanked by 2 guards in heavy armor. Ilara stood. You weren't invited. Vex smiled. I don't need an invitation. I have clearance from the Global Security Council. The Odysseus is now under joint control. The room erupted in protests, but Vex didn't care. He looked straight at Ilara. You've done a great job finding this ship, but now it's time to put that knowledge to use. Real use. Ilara's eyes narrowed. You want to weaponize it. Vex didn't deny it. Earth is weak. Divided. This tech could unite us. Give us strength against any enemy, human or alien. That's exactly what my father was afraid of. Ilara snapped. Vex leaned in closer. Your father was a dreamer. I'm a builder. Then he turned and walked out, leaving tension heavy in the air. Later that night, aboard the Odysseus, Ilara returned to the engineering bay. Kale, she said, is there any way to protect the ship's core data? I can lock the systems, Kale replied. But Blackreach agents have already entered the lower decks. They've bypassed 2 access points. What are they looking for? The gravity device, Kale said. It was hidden behind a false wall. They found it. Ilara rushed through the corridor with her team, but she was too late. The room was empty. On the ground, a metal panel lay open. The device was gone. Only a Blackreach insignia remained, left like a signature. Vex had stolen it. Back on Earth, Vex stood inside a private hangar, holding the strange device. It hovered slightly in his hands, glowing with soft light. When he moved, it moved with him, like it was alive. He turned to his engineers. Build a prototype. I want it operational on Mars Colony 4 within the week. They looked unsure. One whispered, We don't understand how it works yet. It's unstable. Vex smiled coldly. Then learn fast, or be replaced. On the Odysseus, Ilara watched the stars pass slowly through the viewport. She knew what Vex planned to do, and she feared what would happen next. If he used that device without understanding it, he wouldn't just risk one planet. He could tear reality apart. Red sand swept across the surface of Mars Colony 4. The wind howled between the tall steel towers and solar panels. Inside the colony, people went about their day. Scientists, engineers, and families. They had no idea their lives were about to change. In the colony's central control room, Commander Vex Raylor stood beside the alien gravity device. It floated above a steel platform, humming quietly. Engineers surrounded it, eyes wide with both fear and wonder. One of them stepped forward. "We've connected it to the colony's power grid, but it's drawing energy faster than we expected." Vex didn't blink. "Let it." "Sir, we don't fully understand." "I said let it." The device pulsed once. Then again. Stronger. The floor vibrated. Suddenly, gravity in the room shifted. Tools lifted off the tables. A mug floated into the air. One of the engineers shouted as he rose from the ground. Then, just as quickly, everything slammed back down. Alarms screamed. "Emergency gravity spike." Someone shouted, "We need to shut it down." Vex raised a hand. "No, this is only the beginning." Back on Earth, Ilara stood in the command center at UESA, watching the live data feed. Gravity readings on Mars just went wild. A technician said, "Some areas are experiencing time dilation." One of the satellites recorded the same minute, 12 times. Ilara felt cold. "He's using the device," she said. "We have to stop him now." She ran to her lab and accessed her father's final encrypted log, the one she hadn't opened yet. Cal's voice guided her. "The log is protected. You must activate it with a personal code." Ilara hesitated, then whispered, "Julian Miles." The screen flickered. The final message played. Her father's face appeared, older, tired, but still sharp. If Vex finds the gravity device, he'll use it, and it won't work the way he thinks. That tech wasn't just meant to control gravity. It connects space, time, and memory. If it becomes unstable, it could collapse an entire planet. Ilara froze. Her father continued, "But there is a fail-safe. A shutdown command. I've hidden it in a subroutine. Cal knows how to find it. You're the only one who can use it." The video ended. Ilara turned to Cal. "Can you get us to Mars in time?" "I can prepare a vessel. Fastest route, 10 hours. Then we leave now." Hours later, Ilara and a small team launched from Earth in a stealth ship guided by Cal. The stars rushed past as they raced toward Mars. Inside the ship, Ilara stared out the window. "Why did he stay behind?" she asked quietly. Cal answered, "He believed that protecting this knowledge meant making the sacrifice. He stayed in the alien system to prevent others from following." Ilara nodded. "Now it's my turn." When they arrived at Mars Colony 4, the planet looked wrong. Storms swirled across the surface. Dust spun in loops, caught in shifting gravity fields. Parts of the colony blinked in and out, flickering like broken images. Ilara's ship landed at the edge of the chaos. "Suit up," she told her team. "We stop this now, or no one makes it out." They stepped into the storm. Above them, space itself shimmered. The alien device was tearing reality open. The air inside Mars Colony 4 was thick and unstable. As Ilara and her team moved through the outer corridors, lights flickered. Gravity pulled them sideways, then released. Time slowed in short bursts, seconds stretching like minutes, then snapped back to normal. Cal's voice came through her earpiece. "Readings are critical. If the device activates fully, the core of Mars will become unstable." "Where's Vex?" Ilara asked. "Inside the main power chamber, near the device." Ilara tightened her grip on the small control unit in her hand. Inside it was the shutdown code her father had hidden. It was her only chance to stop the disaster. She turned to her team. "Stay here and hold the corridor. I'll go in alone." One of them shook his head. "You shouldn't go without backup." Ilara looked at him. Her voice was steady. "If I fail, you'll know what to do." Then she pushed through the heavy doors into the heart of the storm. Inside the chamber, the alien gravity device floated at the center of a large platform. It glowed with shifting colors: blue, violet, red. The air around it wobbled like heat waves. Metal walls bent inward, warping slightly as if pulled by invisible hands. Vex stood in front of the machine, his coat fluttering from unseen winds. He turned as Ilara entered. "I knew you'd come." "Turn it off, Vex," Ilara said. "You're going to destroy this place." He smiled, calm, confident. "No, I'm going to change everything. This device is the future. We can control time, gravity, even death." "You don't understand what it really is," she said. "It doesn't just bend gravity. It opens doors. Doors we're not meant to walk through." "I've already walked through them," Vex said. "And I saw power. I won't let you take it away." He raised a remote in his hand. Ilara raised hers. The moment froze. Then, Kel's voice whispered in Ilara's ear. "The code is ready." Ilara pressed her control unit. A pulse of light shot toward the device. Vex shouted, "No." He ran forward, trying to stop her. The device screamed, a deep, vibrating hum that shook the walls. Light burst outward in every direction. The chamber groaned. Panels exploded. The air twisted with energy. Then, silence. The light faded. The device fell to the floor with a dull metallic clang. Dead. Vex stood still, stunned. "You don't know what you've done," he whispered. "No," Ilara said. "I know exactly what I've done. I saved us." Security teams flooded the chamber. Vex tried to resist, but was forced to the ground. Shackles clicked around his wrists. Ilara looked at the device. It was no longer glowing, no longer humming, just a quiet, cold shape of alien metal. She took a long breath. It was over. Outside, the storms over Mars began to clear. The dust calmed. The flickering stopped. Time flowed normally again. Ilara stepped out into the red sunlight. She looked up at the sky. Her father had once stood in this same light. He had given everything to protect the future. And now, she had too. Mars Colony 4 was quiet. The wind had stopped. The skies above were clear. For the first time in days, the red planet looked still and peaceful. Inside the UESA medical wing, Ilara sat beside a window, watching sunlight stretch across the horizon. Her suit was dusty, her body tired. But her mind was calm. The mission was over. The alien gravity device had been shut down. The colony was safe. Vex Raylor had been taken into custody and flown back to Earth for trial. His plan to control the alien tech had failed. Ilara closed her eyes for a moment, breathing in the silence. Then, Kel's voice echoed gently through her calm. "The damage to the colony has been repaired. The people are safe." "Thank you, Kel," Ilara said. "And thank you," the Ag replied. "Your father would be proud." Ilara smiled softly. "He gave everything to protect this knowledge. I just followed his path." Later that day, Ilara returned to the Odysseus. The ship was now docked in orbit, turned into a special research vessel under UESA control. Only a few were allowed on board, and she was one of them. She walked through the quiet halls, now fully lit and cleaned. The crew remained in cryosleep, waiting until doctors could safely wake them. Ilara visited the cryo chamber every day. She often paused in front of one capsule in particular, her father's. He wasn't inside. He never made it back. But his voice, his logs, and his final message lived on inside Kel. And that gave her peace. In the ship's command room, she stood before the main window. The stars stretched endlessly before her. Somewhere out there, past the wormhole, was the system that had given humanity this technology, the system her father never returned from. Kale spoke again. There are still many files we haven't explored. Designs, maps, messages in languages not yet decoded. I want to study them, Ilara said, but not to use them, not yet. Why not? Kale asked. Because we're not ready, she said. We need time to learn, to grow. We can't rush into power we don't understand. She placed her hand on the window. I'll watch the stars. I'll make sure no one makes the same mistake again. Back on Earth, people argued about what to do with the alien technology. Some wanted to use it. Others wanted to destroy it. But in space, far above the noise, Ilara remained steady, guarding it, learning from it, and remembering her father's words. The stars still whispered secrets. But for now, humanity would wait. And when the time was right, they would be ready.